Good morning. If anyone's out there this morning, good morning to you. It's Sunday morning here in Australia. Anyone there? Sure. There always seems to be a little bit of a delay with this. Guess I can't complain about a delay. My friend Dave Meyer is messaging me. I see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right, Davey. Where am I? Live working. Oh, yeah, it's good morning. Okay. Yep, sorry about that. There seemed to be a delay. Maybe it's my connection. Good morning. Hey, Craig, Robbo. Good morning, Brett. Oh, Trent's there. Trent Rice, Ballarat. Good morning, Andrew. Hey, Matt, New Zealand. There's my pal, David Meyer. Hey, Davey. Missing you. I don't know when we're going to get to see you because this year's kind of booked out. I guess I'll see you on video, but face to face I won't. This year, probably. We're off to India in a couple of weeks after the gathering with Hegan for a little bit. Then over Christmas, Dave, I was going to come out to see you, but I'm going to Patagonia instead. South America, way down the bottom. Morning, Amy. Morning, Adam. Jesse. Hey, Buster. Cincinnati. Bryce. Morning, Abraham. Welcome home. You're from Canberra? Yeah, I was in Canberra yesterday. Yeah, that's good. We had a good time. We had a packed mat, full mat, and we did a lot of good training. Morning, Gavin. Pete. Steve. I owe you a trip. What does that mean? You owe me a trip. Yeah, you do. It's true. Yes, David. I don't know. We could try again next year, Dave. I know my dates. I'll meet you in Venice next year. I'll meet you in Venice on June 21st. June 21st. See you in Venice. June 21st, Dave. Put it in your diary. Morning, Shane. Morning, David. Michael. Hey, Gavin. Morning to you too. Reese. Yeah. Jeffrey Grant from New Zealand. Are you a visit yet? Cepho. Hey, Cepho. Cepho, hope you're well. 100% next year. Yeah, send me dates. June 21st. June 21st. David, sending you the date right now via voice. June 21st, Venice. I love Venice. Venice is a pretty good city. They have a big problem. They've got a couple of million tourists jumping off boats every day into their streets, which are 4 foot wide. So it's a drama. I think they made a decision to ban tourist ships next year. I think it's all over. Yeah. So you've got to arrive by land, I think, which I think is you need to do it. Morning, Chris, Steve. Hey, Sam, Sammy Borton. Sammy. Damien, good morning to you. I just came back last night from Canberra, Australia's capital, where my friend Travis Foray received his black belt. I almost said automatically long overdue, but it's not. I don't think things are long overdue. I think they come at the right time, and black belt in BJJ, I think I know it's cliche to say it, but I think it's a launching pad for your real learning. Because by the time you do what you need to do to get that black belt, you've got a lot of things squared away. Commitment, turning up, even if you don't feel like turning up, overcoming injuries, you know, the landscape of the mat. You've got, you know, a really good overview of a lot of different techniques from a lot of different positions. So that places you in a really good position to then improve, you know, learn, provided that you keep doing that. Like, you don't just settle into a teaching role. It seems silly to me, you know, when people get a black belt and they go, okay, I'm done, I'm going to teach now. You know, teaching's part of learning, but you need to actively try to, you know, keep researching, trying new things and all of that stuff. And I think you do more. In my own case, of course, I can comment on that. I have learned much, much more post-black belt than pre-black belt. I wish the same upon everyone else. Morning, Sam. Hello, Zoe and Sam. Okay. Good morning, Grant. Morello Caramello, if that's the name that you want. Good morning, Vernon. Yeah. Yeah, we had good training in Canberra. We did snap downs, clinching, how to, you know, avoid collar, inside tie, how to avoid the collar tie, move the opponent around the mat a little bit, working straight snaps, and then, you know, dragging him down, sprawling, and also cradling him down. And then from there, dasas and anacondas and rolling dasas and seated katakatamis, and then some sequencing from failed guillotines to taking the back and so forth. It was good. And then on Sunday morning, I taught a bunch of private lessons, four semi-privates. Sometimes I'd had 4 or 6 people in it, and answer all their questions and then try to cobble together some drill that covered all the answers to all those questions. So that was pretty fun. It's always good, it's challenging, because I get so many different questions. I like that. I like the challenge of it. Morning, Steve. Good morning, Pete. Pete, Natasha, yeah. Oh, good morning, Mark Cunningham. Justin McDermott, morning to you. Chris and Kerry, morning. Rian, good morning to you too. Questions about anything? Topics that we want to discuss? I've got an hour and a bit. Anyone's got any ideas? Happy to blab on about something. Yeah. To understand that certain takedowns work depending on what level of stance. Yeah. You're tall. So taller takedowns, you know what? For taller takedowns, Matt, you might want to try some of the Georgian grips. So just Google Georgian grips. You know, so Georgia was, I guess, a former part of Russia. And in that region, they're very big on grappling and wrestling, and they use overhand, over shoulder grabbing the belt. And so the Georgians developed kind of like their own take, or a Georgian approach to judo, where they had that over the shoulder collar grip, which, you know, flows out of a lot of the folkloric styles of wrestling there. And that's a very powerful grip to set up a lot of takedowns. That always works a little bit better if you are the taller guy. So you might want to have a look at that. Georgian judo. I'm sure there's probably even books and DVDs on Georgian judo if you're the taller guy. That's good stuff. Also snap downs, you know, snap downs very good for the taller person. You get a lot of weight coming on that net pretty easily. Of course, you have to watch, Matt. What you've got to be careful of is level changes. So you've got to get in there, really, really connect up your head level with their head level and work that with some smaller guys. And so as they try to change level, make sure you maintain that level with your head. Otherwise, as a taller guy, you can get shot. You know, they can hit those ankles and lower singles and stuff a little bit more easily than you can. So just watch your level control, looking for over shoulder belt control techniques. Anyway, oh, there you go. See, David Meyer, he backs me up. He's always backing me up. I can rely on David to back me up. Morning, Veronica. Can't. Yeah, David, over the top of the neck. Agree. Yeah, so that kind of stuff which will give you, some great Uchimata type things, and even pulling to butterfly guard and sweeping. Morning, Cameron. Hear more about your approach seminar design around a certain topic. Ryan, thanks. Thank you. You're Scottish-born mother of different spelling. Stroll on, laddie. I give you a leathering. That's it. That's my Scottish accent. Ryan. Sammy. Good morning, Stuart. Good morning, John, Stephen. Yeah, Matt, thank you. Welcome. Kristen, Tom. Sam's asking about my approach to seminar design. So I do a lot of seminars. For those who don't know, I teach, I'm going to say around 100, just over 100 seminars a year. I'm still doing that because I mostly like doing it. The thing I don't like is that, traveling to the airport and then you're waiting, going through security, and then you have to wait another hour, then you queue up to get on a plane, and then you've got to wait another hour and a half, and then you've got to queue up to get off. That part, I'm very sick of that stuff. But the mat time, love it. That's why I'm still doing it. The good outweighs the drama. So, and the people are good. I've got a lot of friends that I feel I like to keep going back and staying in contact. So I do a lot of seminars. And I don't do the same seminar. Like some people do, they have a topic, they have a thing that they're known for, and they just, teach a seminar on that. And that's great because, they've drilled down. Like if John Smith taught a seminar on low single, I'm there. So why not? But I don't do that. I teach lots of different seminars on lots of topics. And the reason I do that is because I've gone out to lots of different schools, teach seminars, schools that are associated with me. So I'm giving them what they need. And obviously they need lots of things, and they're all at different levels and different places in their training. At least the instructors are. So I have to deliver different things depending on their needs. And then I've kept notes. And over the years about the seminar, some of the schools have done 40 plus seminars. So I can look over my notes and see the last 30 seminars they've done, or 20 or 10 or whatever, 40 seminars, and see what they've done, and then ask myself the question, what would be ideal to come after that last seminar? Then I pick the topic. I might pick any topic. It doesn't matter. You pick a topic. Could be, say, De La Riva guard. You pick De La Riva guard as a topic. And what I do is I write up everything I know on a whiteboard about De La Riva guard. So what's every single thing that I know about De La Riva guard? And then I might watch, even if I've got more time, I might watch some fights. I like watching fights on where someone has been successful with the use of De La Riva guard. And I see, what's the setup, what's the dramas, what are the dramas, what's the setup, and then what is the successful technique, and try to do that with quite a few different kinds of fights so that I can get an average of what's the highest percentage stuff. So I do all of that and get all this information. Then I ask myself a very simple question. If I could only teach like 1 hour on that whole subject, given all of that stuff, which of those things would I choose for that hour? And further, in what order? So I might only pick 3 or 4 or 5 things. And what would be my rationale? Why did I pick those things as opposed to some other things? And then what are the ramifications of picking those things versus some other things? So then I come down with 4 or 5 things. And then I'll say, well, what order should I put those in? There must be an optimal order. Like for building any recipe, there's an optimal order, eggs, butter, milk, or you can go milk, eggs, butter, or you can go butter, milk, eggs. And different orders will give you different outcomes. So I try to come up with an optimal order. And then I go beyond the hour and do that for 2 hours, let's say. So that's, in short, the approach that I take. Does that make sense, Sam? Back to Morello, Caramello. Good morning. More than years passes my blue belt. Still feel there are massive holes in my blue belt game. What should folks feel? Purple. Experiment. Okay. For purple belt, I would say, so I think blue belt's about foundation, meaning not holes. A few things everywhere so that you've got at least something you can do from every position, from both sides of the coin, the attacking and the defense. And then purple belt is developing a bit of a game. And what I would do is, write up a list of all the positions: mount, side control, half guard top, half guard, near ride, north, south. And then, of course, there's both sides to that. So you've got A and a B. Are you the guy in the mount or on the mount? So do this little list. And then next to each one, you should be able to write an attack, an escape or defense if you're the one on the receiving end, and a transition from there. So when you do that little exercise, you'll see some places that have a hole. There's a space. You have to go, that's what you need to be working on. Those things. Fill up all the gaps. Hello, hope that helps. Morning, Daniel. Good morning, Tahi. Morning, David. Ryan, what's your approach to strength and conditioning for BJJ athletes? Well, I'm not a BJJ athlete like my friend David Meyer is, but for example, plenty of students of mine are. I'm just a person that's doing BJJ. I'm not competing. That's just not where my life went for reasons. Meaning if I did that, then I wasn't doing this, so I chose other things. So I don't have to, I'm not doing it for BJJ, I'm doing it for just living in life, and of course it helps my BJJ. But my strength and conditioning, I do bare minimum. I do 3 times a week, Tabata-based protocol, loosely Tabata-based. So basically it varies all the time, but what I do is generally we'll pick 8 stations, maybe a tractor tire to flip, or a kettlebell, chin up bar, some ropes, something. So we'll pick 8 exercises. There'll be 8, and then I'll do 40 seconds of work on that station with maybe a 15-second break to get to the next station, and then 40 seconds of work, 15 seconds break, 40 seconds of work till I finish the 8, have a minute off, and do that 4 or 5 times. So something like that, where I do, say on average, 40 to 50 40-second rounds with a small break in between each one. Every session I go to, the exercises vary. Well, not so much, they don't all vary, but the order varies, and some of them are always unique to what we did last week. So I do that 3 times a week. Doesn't take much time, gives you keeps you in good shape, and is very, I think it's much better for you for BJJ than, say, just going for a run or something like that, or going to the gym pumping heavy weights, which is still good, but you can incorporate some heavy weight in that protocol, so get a bit of both. And it allows for endless variation. So I kind of do that. Michael, good morning, Michael. What is a good approach to training when you're over the age of 50? Just exactly the same as 40 and 30. So I don't do a special approach. The only thing that I do is, I guess, is listen a little bit more closely when I've got an injury, like not just go, injury, forget it, just smash through it. If something goes twink, I stop. And yeah, that's probably my only, but I still do a similar approach. Good morning, Adam. Adam, are you still in America at the Worlds, or are you on your way home or something? You're probably still there. Anyway, good on you, Adam. Emma, hi. I'm enjoying great seminar training over the weekend. Real detail, real improvement. Yeah. Thank you. It was great for me too. I enjoyed it. It was good. We did a lot of good things. We covered a lot of different topics, actually. I mean, especially in the Q&A and the next morning's Q&A, you know, we covered all those different things. What's the first thing, you know, for ways to set up De La Riva, a couple of the top ways to do it, to pull into De La Riva. Also, you know, why you picked that first suite that I showed Harry, the reason why. Not because it's the best suite, but that's the one that is going to give you that grip, and that grip sets up the suite. And also the other questions about back control, about crucifix, about, yeah, we did a lot of good things. Good morning, Jason. Back in Seattle. Yeah, Seattle. I'd love to come back to Seattle, of course. Seattle and San Francisco, my two favorite cities in the States on the West Coast. Thank you, Stephen. Not sure when that'll be. I'm kind of booked out already to the middle of next year with seminars and things. I'm retired. What happened? Nothing happened. Eh? That's the problem. That's how you know when you retire that you love your work. You retire, but you still do exactly the same thing. So that's an indicator, I guess. I need coffee in a minute. I haven't had coffee yet today. Love this, John. I used to write notes after training with you and the guys. Yeah, notes. I like Emma. I like taking notes. I think taking notes is really useful. I still take notes. I take notes most days. I make some notes about some aspect of training because I think that the act of taking notes. I don't usually look back at those notes. I hardly ever look back at them, but it's the act of taking it because you have to actually think about what you want to write. And then you've got to say, well, I could write that, or I could write that, or I could write that. So which of those three things should I write first, you know? And so it makes you kind of put things in order, and at least for me, and it crystallizes your thoughts. So, yeah, I think note taking is something very useful. Plus, you can always then, if someone asks me a question about something that I haven't been thinking about for a while, or it's really off my radar, it doesn't take me long to go into my iPad and go find that topic and look at those notes and go, all right, yeah, I think all those things about it. So it's a good way to access information too. Hey, good morning, Tahi here. Thank you. Hi, back to you and Vicky and the kids. The gatekeeper is still upstairs napping. I hear movement. She's moving around. She needs to. And Triple C, he has gone off to the supermarket to throw some products on some shelves in a very, 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 very neat and precise way in his usual fashion. So he does that every Sunday morning, Saturday morning, Friday night, apart from teaching kids classes at Red Cat. And then now he's got a whole bunch of private lessons lining up. So he's kind of busy with these little things. And he was thinking about giving up the supermarket, but we encouraged him to keep it because it's different from the normal thing we do. So it's customer service, talking to people, helping little old ladies, dealing with problem customers. So it's kind of nice training for him. So, you know, and I've been telling Felix about income stream. I don't care how much money you make here. I like to have another income stream. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm making, you know, $10,000 a week here. I want to have some other income stream, because if for some reason that flounders, dries up, something weird happens and impacts that, you've got something else coming in. So multiple income streams, that allows you to sleep at night. And you know, that's how rivers are built, right? So lots of little tiny streams that amount to nothing come in to make a creek. That happens in multiple places. They come together to make a river, which goes to the sea. It's not rocket science. So I like the idea of that. So even if it's just, you know, you stack shelves and get some pay for that, do some private lessons and get some pay for that, teach a kids class, get some pay for that, do something else. And those little income streams all come in, and each one of them's not much, but together it's quite good. And you do that. That's what I've always done anyway. And yeah, it's worked for me. So multiple income streams is a good idea. Anyway, sorry for that rant. That's why he's at the supermarket and not just teaching a private lesson, which he could easily do. He might even be doing that this afternoon. Oh, say hello for you, Tate. Good morning, Kurt. Good morning, Darren. Hey, Fran. Steve. Good morning, Heath. Jordan. David. Hey, Jeff Roberson. Cincinnati. Morello. Cool. Thank you. Hope it helped a little bit. Might go into detail. I should take this thing down and live Facebook one of my workouts. Could do that because that's also, my workouts are at 11 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I could do that. I could take this down on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just get it going, couldn't I? And show, I mean, if anyone cares, but yeah, won't take long. Show you a whole workout. Do that. Morning, Dean. Long car long. Good morning to you. Cameron, good morning. I trust sure the Diaz fight did, yes. Can you, I hear your takeaways from that bout? Personally thought that Diaz would lose the first rounds, making red. Then we would be start taking over the fight. Proven wrong. Question is, takeaways. Nate, yeah, I thought it was really good. It was interesting because Nate looks so casual about the way he fights. So he is used to that. He's used to that, his little weird tempo and kind of awkward boxing style. Obviously, he's 100% used to it. And his opponents are not used to it. They're used to fighting people who are, much more rangy and much more, they stay in the same range and they're very clean and crisp. And his kind of loose, goofy way, it just messes people up. He's unorthodox, I would have to say. And, and then he's happy to go to the ground. And I think, he could have won it on the ground, because he was all over Pettis. He's another level on the ground. But I think he actually just likes, my guess is he liked punching him. So he just wanted to just punch him. And so that's why I think he didn't want to go to the ground and just win it there on that other round. But I think he just liked the fight. He enjoyed it. It was good. I thought it was great. Unorthodox. Messes people up. Bare minimum. Tabata sessions a week, 3, yeah. On top of a couple of nights a week for each training. Yeah, that's good. Oh, you're laughing. Bare minimum 3. Matt, is that funny? Are you trying to be funny? Maybe, because I often don't get people's sense of humor. I think you're trying to be funny. Or not. Can't work it out. I don't know. Yeah, I just do 3. I do 3. I don't do much really. My average week would be 10 private lessons, 6 lessons at Red Cat. What's that? Well, these are not trainings, teaching/training. So that's 16 lessons where I'm teaching, and then I do my 3 Tabatas. Say 19, so say 20 on average, 20 classes a week, teaching, plus that includes the Tabata, and then on every second weekend, or sometimes more, sometimes I do 3 or 4 weekends in a row, and then nothing for a couple, a lot of seminars. I don't know. I don't think it's much. David, don't die. David, I'll try my best. It's no good. Death avoidance. I guess that's what I call it. Birthdays. Birthdays is the celebration of 365 successful days of death avoidance. I will continue trying my best to do that, David. I've nearly died a few times. Lucky, I guess. Is BJJ enough, or should we do flexibility, movement drills, yoga for BJJ? I don't. I'm not going to ever say that someone shouldn't, but I find that BJJ is enough for flexibility and movement, stretch. I think it's all already in there. When you're inverting and spinning and leaping and jumping and standing on one hand and doing all that, you're doing it. So I do that, but I would never discourage anyone from doing supplementary training. I'm lazy, so I don't do it. Just do the 3 Tabata sessions a week, which may or may not be a joke, according to Matt Perkins. I'm not sure. Emma. Good on you, Emma. Congratulations. Legend. Ben. Good morning, Ben. Jason. Adam. You have a lot of books. Top 3. Read. Why would that? Oh, no. I'm not one of those people that I don't have a top 3 shows because I find it's difficult. I have trouble. Like there's so much variety that you can compare apples with apples, but how can you compare an apple and orange banana? It's difficult. So, but also fiction, Dune, Dune. I love that book by Frank Herbert. Very good book. Non-fiction to like J. Abraham, getting all that you can out of everything that you've got. That's a really good book. Book of 5 Readings for Something Different Again, Strategy by Miyamoto Musashi. Stand by, people. I'm going to say goodbye to... No, my wife can come here. Say goodbye to my wife. Say good morning to my wife.
Because she sleeps in.
Stand by. Hey, babe. Hey, babe.
Coffee.
You're making me a coffee. What a gal. So, what's going on here? So, Aaron, good morning, Steve. Joanna Sherwell is an animal lover, Dave Meyer. She's very good. She does a lot of great work. She saves lots of cats. I'm not a cat lover, but I'm a person that likes cats, cat lover. So I like people who like cats, some of them. Meaning you, Dave, and you, Joanna. I can't help it. I prefer a wolf. Huh?
Said hi, David.
Melissa says hi to David. Morning, Kevin. Hey, Gary. Kurt, morning to you, my friend. Hope to see you. Kurt, you coming to the gathering? Adam, gathering? We've got our gathering in 2 weeks' time. Very exciting for me. It's our biggest day of the year where people come from all over New Zealand, all over Australia. Everyone comes together. We compete and then socialise and then train with Hegan Machado the next day and have fun and catch up with friends. It's a social event as much as it is a competition, but it's really good. We've got a lot of improvements this year. Professional team of referees have been engaged. New logos, T-shirts. We've got all kinds of cool things. Better mats. And great to see you work out. Yeah, I might do that. I might travel. I might take my laptop down one day. Just put it up there so people get an idea of one Tabata workout. Please start a podcast. No, podcast. I'll leave that to Joe Rogan. I'd watch the workout, please. Okay, cool. Good morning, Mason. Good morning, Mark, Josh, Kylie, Alex. Good morning to you. I'd expect 3 training sessions from most people. I'd expect 3 training sessions from most people is the norm. Yeah, probably. 3 a week. I don't know. It's good. Things have just got to become a habit, right? Once they become a habit, it's part of your lifestyle. It's not like I have to go and do the training. It's what you do, like cleaning your teeth, having a shower, putting your pants on. So you have to just make a habit, then it becomes normal for you, and it's not normal when you don't do it. So then if you want to up your training and make big improvements, you create a new normal. You add a bit in. That becomes normalized, then you add a new normal. And then next thing you're doing 30 sessions a week. That's normal for you. So you've moved beyond the ordinary. But, I mean, you can do that with anything. Hey, Nikki, good morning to you. Good morning, Brad. Just a machine. No, I'm an old broken down machine. That's exactly what I am. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, babe.
Needs oiling.
She says I need oiling. What a funny gal.
So what?
It's oiling. You slept 10 hours.
Oh, yeah.
You were out unconscious 10 hours. She was 10 hours out like that. 10 hours.
What was it?
I was out 9.5 hours. Morning, Brad. Cameron, agree 100%. had a friend in the crowd. The atmosphere is apparently something else when Nate entered the arena. Right. I think Nate has an ability like GSP, Max, weaponized pace. Yeah, good. I love that. Nice job, Cameron. Weaponized pace. I've never heard it put that way before. That is very cool. Thanks for that. That's entered my brain and stuck there. Weaponized pace. Yeah. I'm going to weaponize coffee. Adam Metcalf's still watching. I know you're jealous. Adam. Him and I like our coffee together. Other skills are most impressive. Yeah. I think Nate, Nate's a weird character in terms of, because I kind of look at people, like I like GSP. If you ask me why I like GSP, I like GSP for a whole bunch of reasons. But the thing I like most about him is his character. And like I could say, I would like my kid to grow up and act that way. But that's a thing that, is very personal. You don't have to, someone can just be all, hey, yo, and this and that, and not be a great role model and still be a great athlete. And you can admire them for their athletic ability. I just find it really difficult where I am in life to tease those two things apart. So I find it difficult. I kind of tend to judge the whole package, which is, you don't have to. You can say, look, the guy might be anything, but not a great role model, but he's really good at golf, or he is a fantastic rugby player, or he's awesome at jiu-jitsu, or he's a great fighter at UFC. But oh my God, I wouldn't want my kid to be like that. I just can't do that. I kind of tend to judge the whole package. So whether that's good or bad, I'll leave that up to you. So yeah, but I like Nate's fighting ability and stuff. He's interesting when I separate that out. He's different. And there's a lot of qualities about him that I do like he's like all those guys. Don't know them very well, but, I know Gil pretty well. These are very loyal people. They're very loyal. Loyalty's important to them. That's why, if one gets into a fight, they're all going to jump in out of loyalty. So it sends a bad message, but they do have some qualities that they won't step backwards. They won't do that, which can get them into trouble. But yeah, he's great. Good morning, Kylie. How can my wife join? She's over there, like, just looking at me, kitchen.
Making porridge.
David says, hi, Lisa.
Lisa. Hey, Davey.
Hey, everyone.
Davey's looking for the moment.
What moment?
Now, this moment.
Oh, okay. Hi, David.
I mean, he might come. He'll probably go shortly, but yeah, there he is. Morning, Steve. Glorious day. We'll try to. Good morning. Thanks, Alex. Phil, good morning. Karen, please go on the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't. Well, first of all, Joe Rogan's got to want to have me on. Don't know if he does. Second of all, I'm not there. I'm way over here. Jeremy, good morning. Good morning, Lee. Tristan. Morning, Lee. Good morning, Paul. Sloan, good morning to you. Adam, pass or sweep? Not sure, Adam, what you mean by that. Pass or sweep? Me, all of it. Passing, maybe passing, but no, all of it. Everything. Everything. I like it. I like everything. Is that what you're asking? I like GSP too. Yeah, he seems nice. I mean, you can't always tell, right? Because they put their face on for the public, but I think he seems pretty authentic. I can't imagine. It's hard to imagine that GSP will be one way with the public and one way privately and one way over there, which a lot of people are. A lot of snakes like that. They got a fake mask on, and then they're all hey, and then the moment you're not looking at them, they're snarling and this and that. But I don't. Hard to see. I think GSP would be the same. Whether he's alone or with people or with. I might be wrong, but it seems that way. And I like that. I really kind of like people that are like that. because I think they're more authentic kind of people, and that somehow appeals to me, or being authentic. Because being authentic is something that not everyone can afford to be. like for example, that's one of the things you have to admire about Nate Diaz. He's not changing for anyone. He's not changing, even if it costs him work. I don't think he's going to change. I think he's going to do his shtick, and that's who he is. Now, there's something about that I admire. Luckily, he can fight, because one of the problems with that is if you're trying to get a job and you want to remain authentic and talk the way you want to talk and dress the way you want to dress, you may not get the job. Other people who are willing to put on the mask that the boss wants to see are going to get the job, and you're not going to get it. So there's a time in your life where you have to play the game, which is to say, step away from being a more authentic person. But later on, ideally at some point in our lives, we all get to the point where, you know what, we don't care anymore. We don't need anyone else's money. We don't need the job. Or we found a job that it doesn't require you to be anything other than who you are. Then it's great. Then you can just be authentic. Now, I kind of pity people who never get to that point, and they have to keep wearing this bullshit masks. Because it's become maybe a habit for them to do it, or maybe their job, lasts so long that they got to keep those things going. That's another thing I like about Nate. He's authentic. He's not Nate does Nate. Oh, there you go, Dave Meyer. Nate is a good guy. I really like him personally. See, Dave Meyer agrees, and Dave is a really good judge of character. Is he?
Yes.
Yeah, he is. I said that automatically. He probably is better than me. I'm not a good judge of character. Dave Meyer agrees. Nate is a great guy. Yeah. Yasmin, good morning. Morning, Yasmin. I like that name. Yasmin. Isn't Yasmin a nice name? Yasmin. Don't you reckon? Jasmine, Yasmin.
That Yasmin Rice.
Yaz, Zacharias.
Yeah. Hey, Yaz.
Melissa says, "Hey, Yaz." Is that the nickname, Yaz?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what I call
Morning, Emma. Kylie. Luke Pizzuti. My friend Luke, one of my early black belts up in Sydney. Fantastic. Great fighter, great boxer, great guy. I like Luke. Luke does Luke. He's pretty authentic. Luke's not going to change for many people, if anyone. Maybe you changed a tad for your wife, Luke. Eh? Nice to see you, Luke. Melissa, I found a photo, says Emma. I don't know what that means. Kevin, I don't know. There's no photo there. Why don't we have both? Kevin, why don't we have both, man? We'll point out him. Oh, sweet pass. I see you. Right. Dave, Galena says hi. Hey, Galena. What a gal. Galena.
Hey, Kelka.
Rusky. Shemaine. Oh, good morning, Shemaine. Catherine, good morning. Good morning, John. Lucky to catch you live today, as opposed to dead.
Oh, stop it.
Yes, Luke. Well, 11 o'clock most Sundays, I'm going to just come down, do a bit of a informal blab if anyone's says hello. I guess we're all just doing the same thing, aren't we? We're lounging around on a Sunday morning.
Sure.
David's probably doing work, but if we're lounging around, we may as well just lounge around together. Can't we do this multiple screens so everyone does it at the same time?
Saturday.
Wouldn't that be good? Saturday in America, yeah. Cameron, personally think GSP's best ever. It's hard to say. I'm not one of these people that likes this best ever stuff, because I've seen some best evers just get tied up by some other person. Best ever. It's your best on the day. On that day, you did better than that other guy who did better on the day. I don't know, but anyway, I guess if people got to rate, you have to rate people. GSP, he's great though. Yeah, it was great, and I like his personality, the character, what kind of person he comes across as. I like that as much as his fighting ability. what he did to Matt Hughes in the second, third time, the way he ran through the 107 division, the way he was constant professional while being the best fighter on the planet. Well, you know, and he, like Nate, who weaponized pace, love that. When he fought Thiago Alves, he had 1,000 yards there. Like, oh my gosh, get me out of here the same way. Edson Barbosa. Yeah, no, cool. Yeah, I agree with all that. Adam, if you had the option in a match to be in the position to be passing guard, or playing guard, which it's passing. Oh, that's a good way to crystallize, to get to the point. Oh, well, yeah, passing, you know, I mean, I guess I've always been a bit more that way. And I think that's come from originally, you know, when I entered BJJ, I entered as a martial artist that was already doing martial arts, not starting in BJJ. So I came in and I was into martial arts with a very strong emphasis toward actually fighting. So I was always trying to shed away the parts of the various arts that weren't functional for fighting and just distill down to the things that work really well at lots of different ranges. So I did that. That was my approach to martial arts, a cross-training approach back in the 70s. So when I approached coming to BJJ, it was always like, no, we're still in a fight. We're just doing groundwork now. So naturally, if you're in a fight, you prefer to be on top, right? Because it gives you more power for striking. Quite often, although not always, you have more ability to disengage if you need to because there are other people around and so forth. So naturally, it was always more passing, knee ride, mount, stuff like that, as opposed to half guard and de la riva and things like that. But of course, you know, guards, you know, half of the battle on the ground because you can't always be on top, so you need to be really proficient at all of that. So, yeah. But passing, I guess, I guess most people would answer the same way, Adam, though, right? I mean, if they're in a fight, even a meow brother would say, I want to be on top. Slapping the guy, probably. Damien, good morning, Damien. Yes, hi, Mal. Yes, fires back. Paul Matrenza, good morning, Paul. Steve, Callum, good morning. David, good morning, John. Lot to risk to find all this. There's a lot to risk to find authenticity, but it's worth it. Yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, you know, people being authentic, meaning just acting, being open, wearing their true nature on the outside rather than on the inside. Quite often you can't do that as in the workplace and in the corporate world and in, you know, you can't. Or you can, you know, if you find the right thing, you know, if you really naturally love people and you really like helping people and you like teaching people and you become a teacher, then you can be authentic in the job. Or you like to connect people with what they need and that's what drives you rather than the money, you could actually be a really authentic salesman, I guess, right? So you're selling something, but what you're really doing is connecting someone with something that they want. You're putting those two things together and you're not driven by, I'm going to get commission out of this. So, you know, right? So, but if you're like, I don't know, you know, an asshole, naturally, if you're in a sales job, you've got to then be, if you want to be successful in sales, you have to be inauthentic in a way. So I think it's trying to find, I guess you can either, well, you can be independently wealthy and then you can do what you want, say what you want, dress how you want, and you can be authentic, right? So that's one way. If not, the next thing would be to find the work that matches who you are, right? Or if you can find the work that matches who you really are, that's going to be cool because then you're living authentically and you're going to be able to do it for a long time because it's sustainable, right? You're not putting on an act, because I think putting on an act, and imagine that, like every day wearing the suits and having a fake smile, but you don't want to do that, that must cost you so much in energy and this and that, that you're going to give up eventually. So I think being being authentic is going to allow you to do whatever it is for a very long time. And if you do things for a long time, meaning you sustain them over time, you can actually be very successful, because you can be successful with almost anything over time. So I think, yeah, it's really important for people to connect with what they really, so maybe if you're an actor, right, and you're used to being fake and what do you call it, a professional faker, then maybe acting's a good profession, because in a way you're being true to yourself and you find a way to, I like to wear 10 different masks, therefore you go into acting, you can do that. So you can do anything. It helps if it suits who you are. Anyway, it's a bit of a rave about authenticity. Shay's on my wife has contributed.
School teachers.
Brad
That's one thing that you need.
Khabib was ALG. I don't know what that means. All until he did that to Conor McGregor. What does it mean? Sorry, Brad, not getting that acronym. Photo will be in your inbox messages. Hope you and Mal have an amazing Sunday. The sun is out, so enjoy everyone. So am I. Enjoy everyone. Emma, start using periods, full stops, and commas. Because see, the way my wife does that, just writes one sentence of 100 words. Hope you and Mel have an amazing Sunday. The sun is out, so am I. Enjoy everyone.
We are writing.
So that is, the sun is out, stop. So am I, full stop. Enjoy everyone. Got it. Took me a long time to work that out.
Because you're special.
Because I'm special, my wife says. Good morning, Manny, Philip. Good morning, Ken. Shirley, always love watching, listening. Thank you. Shirley, known Shirley from my childhood. Good morning, Adam. Good morning. Hope you're well over there. Where are you, Adam? Where are you, Adam? You're down there in Texas. Texas barbecue. I guess it's tea time. Tea time. That's an English saying. Dinner time for you there. In winter. So is it summer? No. America. Well, is it spring, autumn? Good morning, Ken. Thank you. Life experiences. Got to go. I have to empty the kitty litter. Well, thank you for that. Ew. Cats. No. Good morning, Mark. Luke, there's an old Japanese proverb. People have three faces. One they put on the world, one for close family and friends, and one that only you see. There you go. Luke. I'm going to just grab my laptop and put it on my lap, change my positions. Position a little bit here. It isn't fair to be fake as the people are. Oh, she's used a period after supper. It isn't fair to be fake, comma, as the period around you, as the people around you suffer. Like, comma, like period. Oh, you mean like school teachers. Like school teachers, ... They shouldn't teach if they don't like kids. That's true.
There's too many of those.
Yeah, well, one of the problems with this whole thing, I think, is the fact that what happens is people finish school at the age of 17 and a half, maybe 18. They are immediately asked by society and sometimes by their guidance counsellor and their parents, now make a decision as to what you want to do for the rest of your life. Go. And they're 17 and a half years old. So they, they're not equipped to answer that question. So they feel kind of forced to do it. Well, I've got to answer it. What do I need to do? Oh my God, I'm looking around. Teaching seems like something. They choose teaching. Then they're committed to a degree. And then they can't stop doing that degree because someone's invested a lot of money, their parents or whatever, they made a decision, they're on a track. Now they pop out the other end of it at 21 years old, a teacher, and they still are basically kids themselves, so they don't even know yet. And now they're in the school system telling kids and trying to do that. That's a drama. Now, I'm not offering any answers, but I'm saying that's one of the dramas.
I'll offer you an answer. Only do it if you like kids.
My wife says they should only do it if they like kids. But the problem with that is then it leaves three people teaching the whole state. So you need people to do the job, but, I think they, my auntie used to say no one should go to uni until they're 21. When go out, travel, check the world out, learn another language, see how other people live, get some life experiences, do this, do that, turn 21, then you're allowed to university. Now you go in as a mature age student, more mature anyway, and you come out the other end at 25. Okay, now maybe at 25 you're much more equipped to know who you are and know what you want to do and contribute. That would be something like that maybe. Adam, universities versus school of life. Yeah, school of life. Maybe, both, right? You need some, maybe you don't, but maybe a mix there, Adam. Thanks for your time. Wonderful, got to go. Packing to move to Adelaide on Tuesday. Oh, Adelaide, there you go. Well, good luck with the move, Cameron. Morning, Ian. Hey, Ben. Too many fit that category, sadly. Replying to Melissa. Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, yeah. Morning, Peter. Eric. Cheers, John. Recently done some ligament damage to my ankle. I've done that a few times. Had to wear a moon boot. Yep. Possible surgery. Yep. Exercise drills to suggest stay focused. Positive frame of mind. There's lots you can do, right? There's lots you can do. You don't want to be footlocked, but you can be. How good? How good are you escaping side control? So you can just let yourself just become a master of escaping side control, which you will get 1,000 chances to use those skills, and doesn't put that much drama on your ankle. There's lots of things to do, right? You don't have to be the person on top driving on the ground. You can just use all that time to, that 6 months to improve your bottom game, and not even your guard. You might want to try half guard, because half guard doesn't place much stress on your ankles. You're not putting your feet in the arms like spider guard or De La Riva hooking, or putting your feet on the ground, or lifting like the butterfly hooks and stuff. So half guard, you can go underneath, lock him down, not use much legs, look for the other leg, rock and roll sweep, and do all those kind of stuff, and basically do it with very little lower half of the leg. So maybe old school half guard.
I haven't got my phone here. Can you show me rock and roll sweep?
My wife's asking me for jiu-jitsu lessons on Sunday morning at 11:57. No.
Suck.
I suck. Good morning, Kerry. Hey, Lee. What books do you recommend? 6 best. Can't do it. People ask me that question all the time. My wife said Twilight.
I'm joking.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit of vomit in my mouth. Fucking vampires. Mummy porn.
Oh, stop it.
Books. I can do this. Books. Some old books there. Look at that. Old books on jiu-jitsu. That's an old one. Some old ones there. Old books there. Oh, this is not many books. I got rid of all my books. What else have I got? There you go. Bit on India. On Killing by Grossman. It's a very good book. Clausewitz on War. Homer, the Iliad, Book of Five Rings. A lot of different things. Books that are not yet read. Piling up. I've got an Amazon addiction, I guess. Yeah. This depends on what you like reading. I'm not reading that much lately. I've got to start doing it. I read on planes because I want to make the best use of the time. So usually I take a book on a plane and, just get it done. I read on the planes. This is what I'm reading lately. I mean, what I read on the way to, what do I read here? The Order of Time by a theoretical physicist, Carlo Rovelli. Kind of interesting on time. So I did that. It's the last book I read. But I've got some trips coming up after the gathering, heading off to India with Hagen Machado, with my wife, my son Felix, Hagen, a couple of friends, their kids. So we're going to India, hiring a 12-seater bus, doing 12 days through Rajasthan. So I will take a couple of books on that trip and get some reading done. I always feel you can understand much about a man by looking at his bookshelf. Uh-oh. Twilight. You look at mine and see Twilight, Renee. It's not mine. It's my wife's.
The Court is good too.
My goodness. Andrea McNair.
Hey, Ange.
There's my wife. Look at her. There she is. Say, hey, Ange. Melissa says hello.
I miss you.
Yeah, Ange, why don't you come into the gym and I'll throw a kettlebell at you and see if you can catch it.
You.
We'll be there, you know. Do they know, have they been to the new?
No.
All right. No, the shed moved down, Ange. Andrew, talking to Andrea McNair, the gym moved down from up in Newtown down to the Finesford Bridge next to Truffle Duck. Yeah, right there. And it's bigger and more space and bigger, green
Like
AstroTurf for the sled and
damn it.
stuff, lots of stuff. Yeah, it's good, really good. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 o'clock. You know where we are. Good morning, Guy Andrew. What about women? Complaint up, Renee. Oh, Renee. Oh my God. Yes, I'm sure that Renee meant men and women. In defense of Renee. Good morning, Jerome. Good morning, Ryan. Yes. Yeah, interesting book on time. Time. I used to talk about time it was a special subject. My father was interested in that whole idea. So I used to we used to have some talks about that. That's why when my friend Craig Morford bought me this book as a present. I like it. It's kind of a hardcover, small, put in your pocket, and neat. So I'll keep that book. A lot of books I don't keep. I read them on a plane. If I finish it on the plane, I'll leave it right there on the plane. I wonder where those books go when you leave them on a plane.
On stars.
They go somewhere. Someone picks it up, I suppose. The cleaning staff put it in the bin. Hope not. That's what they should do at airports. Have a little book. Leave a book, take a book thing. I guess it'd look messy, but that book, I bet it'd work. Bet people would like to do that. Men and women. Renee, you don't have to apologise for stuff like that. We just assume it. When I come on the mat, I say, okay, guys, bring it in. Sometimes I'll go, guys and gals. But listen, if anyone's super freaked out and offended by that, they needn't be on my mat. People are too precious. Bring it in, guys. Every now and again, I say, bring it in, gals. So it's even. But whatever. It's just words. And words mean things, but people get bent out of shape about semantics and terms and stuff like that. I have one friend in Canberra. He identifies as an attack helicopter, but there's no pronoun for it. He says, it's funny. He says, I identify as an attack helicopter. I please like you all to identify that way and treat me with respect that I deserve as an attack helicopter. Kylie, hey, Professor Melissa, just looking at some advice, for some advice on our Zoe. She struggled a bit with school this year, year 10. My wife says give up.
Homeschool.
Homeschool that girl. And feeling bored and over it. She's wanting to quit after finishing year 10 to help teach and train jiu-jitsu. We are keen
We
to
should
give
have
her
some
more
more
responsibilities around the school. We're not sure if it's the right decision, whether she'll regret it down the track. What are your thoughts? Okay. Well, I think Melissa and I are pretty much on the same page with this. But life is precious, and do I want my child in a situation where they just don't like it for 2 years? Like I said, as Felix says, it's a jail sentence.
Why did you
Why did you make me do it? It's of no use. Now, if, you know, say for example, later on, Felix said to me, Felix, Zoe, right? They said, I found my calling. I want to be a dentist, you know, or they chose something there that, if they chose something that they were super passionate about at the age of 25, they turned 25, go, I want to be a dentist, or 30, right? I want to be an architect or whatever. They can always go back to school. You know, you can go back to school as a mature age student, and you're motivated at that point to really get the job done and do it well, right? So you can always go back. So I don't see anything wrong with like bailing, and you can either go homeschooling so you can still, you know, get through it. Yeah, especially if they're passionate about something else. So if I had my time again with Felix. Now, of course, it's different for everyone because some parents are so busy with their own work and stuff like that. They need the school to really act as a babysitter for their kids. And I totally understand and appreciate that. But if you're not in that situation and you can babysit them and look after them and then educate them, then if I had my time back with Felix, I'd have him home teaching myself. An attack helicopter, that's too funny. Yeah. And he's got every right to identify as an attack helicopter or a chihuahua. Of course, his point being that you can identify with yourself any way you want, but if you expect other people to do it, you're insane. Because people will identify with you based on what they see. And, right? Kelly. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Rob, Stuart, Mike, Dave. There's a cool club Galena discovered when traveling in Ireland called bookcrossing.com. Really? There's people leave books around and log into the website, report where they found it. So you leave the website name in the book, create a record for the book when you leave it in the plane. Oh, right. And it starts its journey. Cool. That was my idea. You can track the progress of the book around the world through time. Bookcrossing.com. There you go. Thanks, Galena. Dave, check that out. I just went there. If I lost my phone. Yep. So great. That's pretty cool. Right? Bookcrossing.com. I'll do it. Morning, Co. Hi, Co. Koshi. Again, back to education. It's no longer permissible to address a group of girls as excuse me girls or boys as hello boys. How are you all? Cannot refer to a mixed group as guys and so on. Yeah, I don't care. It cannot be permissible, but I'm doing what I want to do. People need to chill out a little bit more and put their energies and make the distinctions where they actually count, like in, you know, anything else. Like making distinctions is important in life. Harden up. My wife says harden up. Rob, Damien. Felix is so much happier now. He is. My son's pretty happy now, at home, doing what he wants. Like it's life, people. Let's not lose sight of the fact that, you know, school is a part of life that is an option in a way that we have. It's one of the options we have in Western society. You know, well, countries that are well off. I mean, plenty of countries around the world don't have school. You know, so there's that, or they have schools that teach just terrible things. Like in some of the Middle East, you know, there's some schools that just teach people, and women really they indoctrinate them. That can be a problem. But we have the school system that's kind of there to educate. So it's still like, I think it's easy to start looking at that as, no, this is something that we have to do, that you have to do it. Well, it's something that's there, like a public library's there. You don't have to do it, but it's nice to have it. And I think that, I imagine 100 years from now, provided that we keep evolving, improving things, that is, we don't suffer too many big catastrophes or wars, then I think 100 years from now, the schooling structure might be quite different. Much more, I think, about just the socialization, a few times a week or something like that, and then you're getting your learning at home. Especially with the internet, what we can do now, look what we're doing right now. So I think there'll be a little bit more like that and less like prison. Yeah, discuss it with her. I think it's important to be happy and content. And if someone's happy and content, they're happy, and they find something they're passionate in, they are much more motivated to then go and learn. When you have to learn about things that you have no interest in, it's kind of a bit difficult. See, there are people who excel, but they love just learning for the sake of learning. They don't care about what the subject is. But that's only a very small part of society. So I think it's good. It's important to find things that we are interested in, and then go in that direction. It's pretty difficult, I guess, in the current school system to do that. But yeah, it'd be good to be able to find out, what do people love doing, and then push them down that track a little bit. Also, just give them general things like business, basic business and investment, which I didn't learn anything about that in school. The things that have made the biggest difference in my life, I did not learn at school. 100%. About not about how to earn money, but how to invest the money. That's much more. I won't say much more, but is equally important to earning the money. You might only earn $40,000 a year, but you can become a millionaire fairly simply by investing it the right way. Or you might earn $200,000 a year, but you don't know anything about money management, investing, or budgeting, or this or that, or anything about delaying gratification, and you can end up being, in debt your whole life, and even though you're earning 200 grand a year. So kids need to learn about managing money and investment, and they need to learn things like that. And if their parents aren't that way inclined, they're not learning it at school. If their parents are that way inclined, they tend to go that way. If their parents are not, then they don't, which is kind of sad, because everyone's got the ability to learn about those things. So I think school should teach more about that. They should teach a lot more about creative process, how to create something from nothing. There's lots of stuff to learn in school. Just even classical philosophy, distilled down to where it's really easily understood, those kind of things. Thinking, critical thinking needs to be taught in school. That should be a core subject. Critical thinking. Of course, many schools don't want to teach critical thinking because they're also teaching things that, they're denying evolution. A lot of schools in America are saying evolution is not real. The Earth's only 6,000 years old. Well, straight away, they can't teach science, geography. It's a problem. So that can be a bit of a drama. So critical thinking, it's a secular subject, but I think kids need to be taught how to differentiate between truth and bullshit. And I think that's important. Good morning to you, Mark. Good morning, Fabio. When you can think critically, when you can, organization's another subject, like how to be organized. That's a really useful life skill. Irrespective of what you want to do with your life, if you're organized versus unorganized, two people, same intelligence, same opportunities. One's organised, one's not organised. The organised one will just smash the other one. So I think it's really important to be organised. I don't know, that'd be an interesting subject. So organisation in school, critical thinking in school, creative thinking in school as core subjects. Communications, the other thing, how to communicate effectively with people, meaning getting the outcome you want rather than being right or wrong. So communications, when we communicate, we use language, which is a limited thing. We think we're awesome at it, but it's still very limited. Imagine the first people, imagine 200,000 years ago, their vocab. But they thought it was awesome. They thought it was complete. And now here we are thinking it's complete. It's not complete yet. But if to communicate, it means you're trying to get something across to make something happen. And I think that's an interesting subject that people should do at school. Yeah, critical thinking. Let's make a list. 1 second. Let's make a list. While we're talking about this list, critical thinking, communication, what do you call it? Spelling, typing, organisation. Spelling you don't need, typing you don't need. AI can do that for you. Critical thinking, communication, organisation. Yes, I'm going to say money. Yeah, investments, Lee. I'm going to say money management because investment's only a part of it. Because there's earning, then there's investment, diversification, but then so there's tactical decisions to make, weighing up risk, versus reward. There's long-term stuff, short-term stuff. So I'm going to just say money management. I don't know. Come up with a better name for me, please. I'm up for that. Critical thinking, communication, organisation, money management. I'm also going to say philosophy. Yeah, I'm just going to say philosophy because I think that's really important. And there you go. So far, that's what I have. Yeah, I'm just thinking. Good morning, Steve. For those who are still here, how many are still here? How can I tell? That number, 37. For those of you who are still here, yeah, come on, give me some ideas. So I've got subjects at school, right? So school, we're designing school curriculum, critical thinking, communication, organisation, meaning be organised with your life, money management, philosophy, can I amend it? Edit? I can edit. Okay. And I'm going to say creative. I'm going to just say creativity. I'm going to do that. David says economics teaches people to think well. Yeah, economics. I'm gonna add economics in there. It sounds so shitty, David. I mean, because I remember when I was at school, economics, like, ugh, I couldn't think of anything worse. But that's because maybe they didn't. Maybe it's the name of it. It's got a stigma in my head right now. But I get, the way the world works is economics, right? So maybe we call it the way the world works,
Nutrition.
or something. Well, my wife is saying nutrition.
No, Chris. Some Chris guy here. Chris Bowles.
Chris, you're probably right.
It's good. It's
My wife would
important.
agree with you.
Yeah, my son's into it.
Socially responsible entrepreneurship.
He didn't read mine.
Okay, hang on a second. Calm down, people. All right?
Like stepping outside of
No. Calm down. Brainstorming. Brainstorming. I like it, Lee. That's pretty cool. Okay, stand by, people. Critical think, creativity, economics. I need a better word, David. I'm going to put nutrition. I'm going to put food prep because nutrition, food prep. I'm going to call it food prep. And I like the idea. Brainstorming. Look, brainstorming. I like it.
David. Crash course on lowercase Elgard.
David, you idiot. Brainstorming. And I'm going to put
Idiot.
strength and conditioning. A crash course in lowercase Elgard, says my friend David Meyer, who was, for those who don't know what that means, it's David's sense of humour, where he went to Seattle one time, was teaching a seminar, but he sat down and said to everyone, listen, the reason I'm here is basically there's a lot of people who have been, messed up with their VJJ or confused because John was recently here and taught a seminar. So they've asked me to come back and fix all the mistakes that he made. And, his, X-Guard, this and that, we've got different stuff, but his foray into the little seen and little known lowercase Elgard, that was just ridiculous. And I need to fix the whole, that's what he's on about. A crash course on lowercase Elgard. My friend Davey, Lucas, Helen. So what we've got, people, is schooling, curriculum, critical thinking, communication. This is just my stuff. Organization, how to be organized, money management, which could be wealth creation, but money stuff and long-term, short-term. Philosophy, I think it's really important. Creativity, just in and of itself, being creative process. Food prep, brainstorming, strength and conditioning, sport. These are good subjects. We kind of, there's a lot of subjects right there. So that's it. I could write a paragraph on each one of those topics. That would make a good little blog. Okay. Subjects at school. Cyber school subjects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 subjects so far.
10, including one.
What's yours?
The community, giving back, stepping outside of yourself. It's important. It's not
All right.
selfish.
My wife's being her, so I'm going to add it. Her little subject in.
Community.
Here it is.
Important, that means too selfish.
Okay, go make me a coffee.
I did.
She's going to call it community. Giving back. That's a subject. At cyber school. Someone come up with a better name. I don't want to call it cyber school. It's annoying me.
How school should be. What school should be. Change it to school.
All right. Good morning, Helen, Lucas. Good morning, Stephen. Just ranting about schools here, about schooling and subjects that should be taught in school.
Davis.
Brendan. Good morning, Brendan. Brendan Davis from South Africa. Brendan, I was almost coming to South Africa.
Close.
this Christmas. Very close. I was just looking for something to do between just before Christmas Day, around 20th of December to January 1st. And one of the things I considered was going to South Africa to a game park for Melissa. But instead, I'm going to Patagonia
Alone.
alone. She ain't coming down there because there's snow going sideways in your face up in the Andes in some remote location. That's what I'm doing for 12 days. 12 days over Christmas, going to Lake Strobel in Patagonia, Argentina. Next year, I might go Africa.
No.
Nile,
Egypt.
Egypt,
And the lights.
Northern Lights, or Norway and Egypt.
Mm-hmm. It's my birthday.
Christmas time, yeah, you can go Christmas time. You can
My
go
birthday present.
Norway and Egypt. All right. Christmas, next Christmas. Good morning, Adam. Miles Woodland. Good morning, Adam. Woody. Good morning, Damon. Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson. My wife likes saying Brian Johnson. Remember that time we came, Brian Johnson, down to Los Angeles for David's wedding?
Yeah.
That was fun. And we all met in the bowling alley in the valley.
That was
Bowling alley in
last
the valley. That was fun. I hadn't seen my wife for what? Well,
few hours. I just bowled all night.
no. I arrived there and you were there, or you were,
Oh, I was there somewhere else.
and I arrived from another country. Where would I come from? I don't know.
You
Somewhere.
were interstate too.
I was interstate. I was somewhere. Oh, in America, Cincinnati,
Yeah.
maybe. Right. And yes, I arrived. They were all there. Brian Johnson. He says perfect accent. Dick says hi.
Brian Dixon.
Sorry, guys. Personal, very private joke between David, Brian, and me. Dick says hi. Our friend Dick, with the unfortunate name Dick Trainer, which is obviously why he probably took up martial arts in the first place. But Dick Trainer is a very good martial artist. Multiple black belts, weaponized, guns, knives, living like a pirate. He's awesome. Good morning, Andrew.
John was wanted by the police.
It's true. I was wanted in 3 states in America. They
That's
warrants
pretty
out for my arrest. I was wanted in 3 states. But David kept getting pulled over. They make him get out of his car on the ground, shotguns out. Sorry, Davey. All the time your face ended up in the dirt. It's my fault. I admit it. I've been wanted by the police in several countries. Hi, John. Just back from teaching at Rick Spain's. Oh, nice. Cool. Excellent work. Sure you gave them a great session on a Sunday morning. Ken. Oh, yep. Let's say no more. David. Good morning. I kept getting pulled over. Dave's starting to elaborate on the car.
You had to get new license plates.
Had to get new license plates. I owe you for that, Dave. I gotta buy you a gift. Wanted in Arizona, Nevada, and California, I think.
Was wondering the
3 tri-state criminal. Oh well, what can you do? I could say it wasn't my fault, but was. Yeah. All right. Any other topics, people? Any topics? Name something weird. Name something strange. Those were the days. They were the days. We had fun. Someone come up with a weird topic we can talk about.
Why?
Those were the days. Melissa and I were in the States in the early 90s. We had no money, and the Canada border, the Canada border. I was pulled over at the Canada border 10 times too. Not 10 times, maybe 7 or 8 times. Remember that? Oh my God! Someone had a gun. Was it? Is that right? Is it? That's what started it on the Canada border, Brian. Someone had a gun. Or did he?
Dick Trainer.
Or he's talking about his gun, or he had a gun. One of the guys not crossing the border. That's how it all just turned to shit. And we paid a price for that for years, didn't we, David? Ugh. Anyway, we're off their books now because the guy told us last time we went through, you've only got one more year and then you're going to be unflagged. Thank God. Those were the days. They were the days back in the early 90s. Melissa and I were in America. No money. We're just living from week to week, trying to scrounge up a little bit of money here and there. We'd stay in you have to eat in all-you-can-eat buffet restaurants.
In Vegas. Put in your coin, you made enough.
Vegas was the best because it's all you can eat for $3. And when you've got no money, that was really useful. David and Brian says, now I'm cavity searched every time I see Perry. Seems to be about right every time you see. Are you talking about? Oh, you mean at the border? I thought Perry was cavity searching you, which is a little bit weird. But those wacky Canadians. That's not where the maple syrup is, Perry. That's not how you find maple syrup. Scottish version of a Canadian. Yes. It was good those days though. The Machados were way back then. They had one academy on Ventura Boulevard in the Valley, and we used to, they were all teaching there, and that's where we trained, and that's where I met my friend David Meyer. Couldn't just free that foot to
Perry on silver at the Masters.
Congratulations to Perry, silver medal at World's Masters. Came within a foot trapped from being mounted. To get the points you need to win. Yeah, Perry. I didn't see it, but yeah, there's that. Bummer. Anyway, great effort and congratulations to Perry. Anthony, good morning. Anthony, good morning. Ruben, good morning. Scott, Scotty. Don't suppose you could have one more.
God, anything else I can do for you?
I'll see you ask. My wife's asking if there's anything she can do for me. Oh, this light, so I'm going to change the angle. She's making me a coffee. My awesome wifey over there. She just push a button and coffee comes out. But she did pick up a cup, so it's made with love. I'm going to sit on my chair over here. I'm going to just change positions. Get some power into this laptop. Change the angle of my light so you can see. Is that a shitty view? Is it an okay view or is it horrible? Pardon? She said, I'm a shitty view. I think she said, I'm a shitty view. Did you say that?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Baby.
I love that face.
Oh, my God. She's brutal today. She's on form. It's not a good angle, babe. No. Yes. Couldn't free the foot. So this goes, couldn't free the foot, complete the mount, Dave says. So that leads me to think about, I think something that we all, I guess everyone does it, right? But it's really good, a good little part of training that you can do on the mat is to get, find these little problems and then just solve it for 15 minutes again, and work on specific problems like that. And all the great guys, the top athletes do that. They pick the, Ashi Garami and then fix it again and fix it again. So they just take a thin slice of the game and then just work the solution to that. So just free rolling all the time, just wrestle, roll. That's fun and cool and all of that, but it's not like training. So that's what training's about. Training is more that kind of thing. You find a specific problem and you focus in on it and you just work it until you can't get any better at it. I guess I could say that. Yay. Brian Johnson, got to run. Love to all. Hey, Davey, my pal is off. All right, I'm gonna talk to you soon, Dave. All right, take care, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Cool. Brian Johnson, see you, David. Try applying to David. Melissa says, bye, Davey. It's my friend Brian Johnson here, one of the best BJJ coaches, I reckon, and athletes and competitors in America. Brian lives up in Seattle, for those who don't know. Yeah.
Brian, I need to train with you to get some tips for small person.
Brian, she says she needs to train with you, not me, because I don't teach her anything, she says, Brian. So I'm going to send her in a box to Seattle. You know, one of those long, thin things that people send posters in. I'll stuff her in one of them and send her up there. You can install her in the Aurora Hotel, that hotel on Aurora. You know, the one where we used to stay. Put her there. She can work on Aurora. That's where all the hookers work.
Oh, great. Thanks. I don't want to say that.
Good old Aurora. Morning, Try. Rob Gillespie. Hey, Rob, from Taupo. I bet it's cold. Is it cold there? It's cold in Canberra yesterday. Bright, sunny day, but cold night time. Morning, Lee. Good morning, Lee. Oh, thank you, Lee. Yeah, great. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate it. Brian would love it. Yeah, she would love it. Classy joint. It is. It's a classy joint. The old Aurora. What's the name of that?
Crown Inn.
The Crown Inn.
He says Crown Inn.
The Crown Inn.
I don't want to stay with any hookers.
No, they're next door. There's lots of rooms.
No, I've experienced that before.
Those rooms at the Crown Inn, people, you can buy a room by the hour. It's fantastic. You can go in there, buy a room for a couple of hours, train jiu-jitsu right next door, come back, have a shower and go. Just saying. It's good. I like Seattle. Seattle's fun.
Oh, I forgot Seattle. It's raining.
Seattle. It's never rained in Seattle. In the history of Seattle, it's a myth to keep tourists away. Like Iceland. They go, Iceland, no one wants to go there, but it's awesome, apparently. But they just called it Iceland to keep people away. I think they're doing the same in Seattle. So, yeah. Brian, let me ask you a question. So with regard to training, if you could, leading up to a competition, what percentage, if any, do you put on working specific problems that seem to be current right now? For example, you know, someone's got, you're standing over them in the guard and they've got single leg X guard on you. Just working that specific problem again and again. What percentage, if any, do you allocate to that in your lead up training to competition? Let's see, Brian has got an answer for that. Attending to problems is, you know, how you, because you only got to think about it. You've only got to, if you just did 15 minutes a week, 15 minutes on a problem in jiu-jitsu that's common, that's 50 problems a year. I mean, that's a lot, you know? So imagine you did half an hour a week on a very specific problem, 50 times a year, 25 times a year, meaning so you did it half an hour a week, so you did one topic for 2 weeks in a row, meaning an hour on a topic. That's 25 problems a year. 4 years goes by, and you've covered 100 problems, and you've put an hour's training laser focused on that specific problem. You see how it's not hard to get good if you took that approach. You could really improve your jiu-jitsu, especially in the long term, like over a 4-year period, to put 1 hour of very specific training into a very specific problem. It will give you 100 problems in 4 years. Pretty good. I'm curious as to what Brian thinks about that, because Brian's a really good competitor. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Andrew. Danielle, Harvey, was. If I'm right, let me see if I'm right. Was. Auckland, Harvey, Cambridge, Danielle, Perth, Andrew, Canberra. Am I right with all that? Brian, I'm competing September 7th for the Fight to Win bantamweight title. I would say right now the vast majority is positional work, starting in specific positions. Right. Name a couple, Brian. Single leg X. Is it gi or no gi, Brian? I'd love to watch that, Brian, but on September the 7th, we've got our gathering.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Well, what time? It depends on what. Well, hang on. September 7th for Brian is, that's Sunday for us. We've got Hagan. You know what we might do, Brian? If I can figure out the time, I might put Hagan's seminar on hold and we'll get everyone to watch your fight. Don't take too long. Brian Johnson, gi. Even better, right? Cool, because we'll be doing a gi seminar on that day with Hagan. We'll put our seminar on freeze if we can and watch you. How would that be? That'd be fun. Bye. First means I have to go spend some time with the kiddies. Say hello to the little tackers for me, Kylie. Thank you for advice this morning. It's been great watching, listening. Yep, enjoy it. Yep, thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks, guys, from Adelaide. Not Adelaide, Port Lincoln. Sorry about that. Morning, Stephen. Morning, Peter. Craig Harwood. Hey, Craig. Guess who I had dinner with? Not last night, Friday night. Mogs. He's come back from that big sandy place out in the Middle East. And he's now, obviously he's installed himself in Canberra at, Waterforce. So it's great. Great to see Mogs. I'm training hard. Good morning, Shane. Hey, Shane, how are you? Been a while. Brian, I bet you're training hard. September 7th is not far away. It is, in fact, 2 weeks away. So, Brian, you might not want to answer my questions.
Yeah, don't give away secrets.
But seriously, Brian, what are the chances of one of your opponents listening into this? So, name 3 positions that you're working hard on, specific problems. Come on, Brian. Or you could just say nope. Say nope. Feel free to say nope.
Say no, Brian.
Melissa says, good luck to Brian. Brian doesn't need luck.
Smash him.
Brian doesn't leave things to chance. He lines those pencils up the way those pencils are supposed to be lined up. Everything is exactly like Felix. Brian, Brian, you don't know my son very well, and he doesn't know you very well. You know of each other, but if you were here, Brian, you would like it because he lines the pencils up, and you can't have them in the wrong order, and one can't be out 1 millimeter more than the other one. So there's that. Starting in 50-50. Okay, back mount and takedown spots. They're picked up single. Right, cool. Good one, thanks. Yeah, so you're working on that stuff. Excellent. Good job. So that's an interesting thing, right? You know, what we choose. I mean, in making those choices, like what Brian's just done there, so Brian's chosen 50-50, working specifically there, back mount, you know, escaping, keeping, I'm not sure which one, takedown spots, you know, so they've picked up the single. Or they've got the underhook, or, you know, you've got the front headlock. So again, how do we make the decision as to what those topics are? Things that have happened to us in the past and that we paid a price for, or because we know that our opponent is historically strong at those positions. So which one of those two, Brian? Or both, or something I haven't thought of. Brian says, Felix is my spirit animal.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
He is. Hey, Brian, you'd find him very interesting because he can elevate turn 180 degrees, flip upside down, and land with your collar in his teeth and your footlock. It's a weird thing to see. You would like it. You would enjoy it. Him, and he's a good kid. So you would enjoy spending time with him. I'm sure of it. And he would love spending time with you. He'd have a lot to learn from you. Yes. So at some point we've got to connect you up. Maybe I've just got to send him there. Maybe because he's got to come over. He wants to come over for the Worlds in November to America, no-gi Worlds. So maybe I can send him to Seattle. That would be good. He does want to train in San Francisco prior to that, probably with the boys down there, with Gil and those guys. And then David's got another friend, our friend Travis Magalit. Travis, Felix, I might send Felix along to train with you prior to the Worlds. But I'd like him to do some training with you, Brian. Not necessarily in prep for the Worlds, but just to be, connect up with you, right? Because we're all we're good friends. We've known each other for such a long time. It's great if our kids can then go to the next level and keep these relationships going, right? So I want Felix to connect with you. Let's see if we can make that happen. Both. Yeah, right. Okay. Good morning, Sammy. Good morning, Matt. David, got to run. Appreciate the same talks. Thanks, David. Both. Yes. So Brian's answering both. So how he makes the decision as to which subjects, micro positions in BJJ, micro problems that you want to specifically work. It's half on looking at the guy he's going to fight and seeing how that guy's strong, and then marrying that with things that have caught him in the past. And yeah, great. Thank you. I thought both, but I'm just curious. It's interesting. Good morning, Daniel. We would love to get on the mat with him. Yeah, he would love to get on the mat with you. He's always welcome. So yeah, just don't put him up on Aurora. Good morning, Nico. Nico Fragiadakis. Fragiadakis, is that how I say it? Fragiadakis. Sounds Greek to me. Greca. I got a Greca. She's over there in the kitchen. She's in the kitchen. The Greek girl in the kitchen. Yes. All right. 11, 12, 1. So I've got a few more minutes. I'm going to wind it up by 1 o'clock. Any other topics that people want to talk about? Questions about anything that I might be able to help with, or just general ranting and raving? It's a knife. I did a series of these knives, limited edition. Oh, it's upside down. Ashigarami. There's a heel hook right there. Heel hook. That's called a Dejo knife. I really like that knife. I've got a collection of these ones. Well, can't see very well, but there they are. Yeah, got a collection of those. It's not a hardcore knife. It's just it's a beautiful object. That's all. It's nice, nicely made in France. So I did a whole bunch of them. Let me see if I could. Hey, babe, could you pass me this Dejo down the bottom? There you go. I'll see if I can. No one's asking any. Just this. No. Collection. Okay. There you go. It's a nice one. The Jewish girl who told a lie. Got a nice one. Cat. Cat. Sociopaths get a bad rap. All cats are, of course, sociopaths. What else we got? Got lots. We've got, oh, yes, son. There's one for the musicians. Yeah. Little notes. Oh, Ray Floro. Ray Floro, he's the knife man. He's just jumped on. You've come at the right time because I'm showing this Dejo knife collection, Raymond. Right? Displaying that. That's, here's a nice one. Red handle. And the inscription here is, you can't read it, but it says red, the color of justice. The color of justice. There you go. Anyway, brief look at a bit of my Dejo collection. I like that music one. Yeah, it's nice. The music one is good. Right. Yep, I saw that. Compelled me to join. Oh my goodness. Yes, knives. What is their obsession with knives? I mean, I get Ray, for those who don't know, is probably he's the number one person that I think of, and many people would think of in Australia when it comes to sticking people with pointy and sharp things. Raymond's the man. And fencing, national fencing champion, but he's into, all the Kali Filipino stuff. He's done all these things, all that training his whole life. Anything from sparring with machetes to, cutting things apart with sharpened credit cards to improvised weapons to normal knives. Ray's the one. And Ray's he's a good guy. I like Raymond. He's a specialist for that stuff. Jesse, I've loved, what you got? Jesse, I've loved knives since I was a little kid. Why my parents bit? Yeah, I think a lot of kids do, right? I mean, boys, they always want a knife, right? I guess a lot of kids don't now, but when I was a kid, everyone wanted their father or their grandfather's pocket knife, right? It was a big deal because there wasn't technology, there wasn't iPhones and internet and drones. It was. Well, what was it? It was a slug gun, a rifle, or a knife. They're the things that boys wanted when I was a kid. But now there's all this other stuff. So I guess it's not a thing. But people of my generation, yeah, they all wanted a knife and got a knife and cherished a knife at some point. And knives have been part of human history, haven't they? Edged weapons. That's how people won wars. Nations conquered other nations and took over the world. Knives and swords. I mean, Genghis Khan was a little different. You get it with arrows and horses, but when it come right down to it, knives, swords. The gladius was an interesting weapon. One of the reasons why the Romans did so well, because that thing was so short that in close warfare against the longsword, they could get right in there where it's all happening. When you got 1,000 warriors smashing against another 1,000 on a battlefield, that close-in stuff gave people the edge. And one of the reasons why Rome did so well was because of the gladius, where the name gladiator comes from. Respect. Thanks, Raymond. I've got a vintage bowie with a bone handle made in Sheffield that I love. Beautiful. Yeah, nice. People these days forget knives are tools. Yes. Yeah. Everyone's kitchen's got a knife in it. If you're going to have something in your kitchen, if you're going to have an object, it may as well be a nice object, right? Something you like and appreciate and see. So It's kind of. I get little coffee cups, you know, when I'm over in travel. I usually bring home like here's the. I bought this home from Vietnam. Little espresso cup. So if you're gonna have a coffee cup, you may as well have some little ones. I've got a collection of them. Some ones you kind of like and are nice. Same thing with knives. You've got to cut up a bit of fruit or something. You may as well have something you like. People, they get scared and offended when people carry them. I guess that's true, you know, because Raymond, in as you know, in Asia, you go out anywhere, like anywhere in Bali, just for Bali, you go out in the back country, in the black blocks, everyone's got a knife. They've got a knife. A lady's walking along, an old lady, 90 years old, is walking on the side of the road with a golok. You know, golok is a curved knife with a handle, and she's just walking up the street, waving it around, you know, swinging it as she's walking. If anyone saw that here, everyone would leap back in fright. But over there, of course, it's a tool. It's just a thing that she uses all the time, all day. It's in her hand for half the day. And that's something that's quite foreign for Westerners. They got their iPhones, you know, in their hand all day. Whereas in Asia, they've got a knife. And that's, it's a tool. It's something that they use. And yeah, huge knife, yeah. All right, well, I'll be winding up in 4 minutes' time. So, and as I said, I must at some point take this to the mat so people can have some very. We can talk about, brainstorm some techniques and some topics, and yeah, that'll be fun. Ideally, I've got my son here. He doesn't usually finish work. He's not finishing work for another hour, so that would be, you know, more likely that would be at a later time, like an hour and a half from now, which may be too late for people in America. Oh, is it true? Well, it is a Sunday, so maybe not. No, it's Saturday in America, right? It's Saturday night, so maybe it would still work. All right. Off to work. Should be illegal to work on a Sunday. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. in America, West Coast right now. And way later, I guess, in New York. Or earlier, mate. So, yeah. Well, we'll take this computer to the mat at some point soon, my laptop, and we'll do something there. And again, if anyone's got topics that they want to talk about, maybe I can make a list or ask that question a few days earlier, see what people want to chat about. All right. Thanks, and see you later there, Raymond. Goodbye to you. See you, Jesse. Goodbye. So bye, everyone. It's coming up on me leaving time. Hope everyone has a good Sunday in Australia and a great Saturday night in America. Solid info. Looking forward to Tuesday session. Yes, good man. All right. Take care. Have a great weekend. And I am leaving in about 1 minute. Sorry, Jeff, you've just joined and I'm just winding up. So anyway, glad you could drop in. So usually it starts about 2 hours prior to this, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Australian Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, and for about 2 hours. So if I'm around, I will be able to do it next weekend by the look of things, yes. But the weekend after we have our gathering, our big competition, so Hagan Machado will be out here. We'll be very busy that weekend. So I don't know. Maybe I can just turn my computer on, get Wi-Fi at Dominance, and we can, yeah, maybe I can show 15 minutes of that. I'll see if I can remember to do that. I can't promise because it's a big weekend. And then the weekend after that, I might be on a plane heading to India. So again, I'm going to be kind of committed, and then I'll be in India for a week and a bit, or 12 days. All right. But, all right. So thanks, everyone, and I'll I'll catch you again probably almost certainly next Sunday at 11 a.m. Come with questions, topics, any topic you want to discuss. I'm up for it. Thanks very much and have a great day. Okay, bye.